I'd like us to learn today the book of Esther. We're going to read the book of Esther, verse 2:15 up to 17, which it talks a little bit about the how Esther was chosen to become a queen in the place of Queen Vashti, who disrespected the king Ahasuerus. And I'm gonna read this verse. If you can go with me until the end and listen what we are about to talk about today. It may be not about submission, not about beauty, not about anything else that you can imagine. Just listen until the end so the word of God can settle within your heart and you can use it to change and to reflect some things in your life that you have long forgotten, or you are misspeaking the message that God is trying to give you, and you're falling because of lack of knowledge. It says, 15. Now when the turn came for Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her as his daughter, to go in the king, she requested nothing but what Haggai the king owner, the custodian of the woman, advised. And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all who saw her. So Esther was taken to King Ahasuerus into his royal palace in the 10th month, which is the month of Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. The king loved Esther more than all the other women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins. So he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. For those who like to read Bible, here it is talking about Queen Vashti. Queen Vashti, she was a woman who disrespected the king. They had a party which was normal. A queen would make this ceremony with women, and a king would celebrate with the men. So during this celebration, the king called his wife, and Queen Vashti refused. So it made the king angry because it was portraying the picture that the women are trying to rule over the men. And after asking for the advice from his advisor, they told him he should find another virgin and put a crown in the place of Queen Vashti. And Esther first, she was not from their tribe. And also Esther, it was not her real name. Her real name was Hadassah. Hadassah, it is a tribe of Jew. And it was not possible for a Jew to be invited in a palace or to participate in this competition of becoming a king's wife, because they won't allow the king to marry outside of the tribe. And so Mordecai, the uncle of Esther, he knew about all this because he was a little bit familiar to the palace. So he knew that my girl have all the qualities to become the queen, except one, which is her identity. So since nobody notices her, nobody knows her, nobody is aware about her existence, why can't I use this on my advantage? It is between me and my girl. So we are going to change this girl. From now on, you are not Hadassah. From now on, your name is Esther. Why? Because we don't have Esther in a Jew's family. So it will be difficult for them to recognize you that you are a Jew. But Esther, after going there, she was still herself. She had a Jew, she have a Jew blood. She have a Jew behavior. So being in a palace or changing a name will not change her behavior, will not change her past. Nobody told me how to behave outside my tribe. Nobody told me how to behave like not a Jew. So I am a Jew. You are calling me Esther, but I am a Jew. And on her advantage, this is something that caught the king. Because if we look, these other women, these other virgins, they tried so hard to look familiar to the palace when they were visiting the king. They put a lot of gold, they put a lot of makeup, they put a lot of clothes, which sometimes maybe it triggered the king because they look more like the woman I just chased from the palace because she was misbehaving. But this woman, Esther, she looks different. She's not wearing gold. She's not walking like the woman who I just chased outside of my palace. She is polite, obedient, and loyal, and she is committed and intelligent. And this caught King's attention. How many times have ever thought that something that looks unfamiliar would be your stumbling stone to another step of your life? And we are living in the world where everybody is trying to fit in. Everybody is trying to go and look like everybody else. Because if I look different, it will look like the world is leaving me behind. But what if that is what God needs in order to save you from your misery? God doesn't want you to wear that Gucci clothes which is sold millions in order for him to choose you to be his kid. God doesn't want you to drive that 300 million euro car in order for him to recognize you as his kid. God doesn't need you to wear your real name in order for him to choose you. What God wants is for you to be yourself, to be humble, to be royal, and to be real. And this is what we're going to learn today about the book of Esther. And sometimes if you don't look carefully about this stuff, it may come to be a trap in the end of the day, because Esther and Mordecai, they plan to keep it as their little secret, not to tell anybody that Esther is a Jew, because what they wanted is Esther to go into Paris and to become a queen. Who have ever imagined that Esther could win the competition? Maybe even themselves, they didn't think much about the winning. They didn't consider to win. That's why they committed this big kind of lie. We are giving it a try, so just do it for a short time, because after 10 months you'll be just a concubine in a palace. Nobody will bother about your identity, but you are inside the palace. So their target, at first, the target of Mordecai, it was to put Esther inside the palace. Whether she wins or not, that was none of his concern. That's why he considered this kind of lie, it is a small lie. Hiding identity of Esther, it is a small lie. But it didn't turn the way he thought. It turned out she won and she became a queen. And she is the daughter of Mordecai, because he raised her since his family died and everything. And so she respects his father's command or advice. She still keeps her identity secret inside the palace, but she's still acting Jew. It is easy for me to hide my name, or it is easy for me to hide what's going on, but it is not easy for me to hide the feelings I'm going through. I can tell you I'm really okay, but if you look carefully, you see tears in me and you will realize that I'm really not okay. So this is the life of Esther. You cannot hide your reality. She was still acting like you, which was a good thing because it caught the king. She was telling the king that because they had this shift of entering into palace and reading these books for the king before the choosing of the queen was yet to come. But Esther, she didn't read these books which was in the palace. She told the king a story about the story that she knows, and the only story that she knows which was very good, it was a story of David. It was a story of Jacob, how Jacob was promised to get Rachel, and at the end of the day she got a sister which was Brian. And this story caught the attention of king. I never seen this kind of story into the palace's book. Where did this story come from? It created some kind of curiosity. So the time you get rid of your true self, the time you are starting to act to be like someone else, you are killing people's curiosity about the reality of you. And anything that doesn't create curiosity, it is not going to get attention, or it is not going to be known. In order for something to be known, it has to create curiosity. Curiosity will bring attention. When people gives you attention, it means they are going to know a lot about you. They are going to know your potentials. And so these all other virgins girls, they were reading the books which are in the palace. It is boring because the king have been seeing these books since when he was growing up, maybe. The king had been seeing this book or hearing this story from Vashti or from other concubines during Vashti queenship. And now the virgins I brought in order to get rid of my frustration, they are also reading the same book which I have heard hundred again. So it doesn't interest me. Your 60 minutes are overseas. You have to go. I need another person to come and to read another paragraph, which maybe will be also very boring. So it is a waste of time. But this one woman caught my attention. The things she is talking about, they are not familiar to me. I really need to know this girl. So she was noticed with her beauty even before the day of competition. People tell you, oh, she was beautiful. All the girls were beautiful. All the girls during this competition, they were very beautiful. But Esther had extra value. She was herself. She was living into her Jewish home, but she was behaving into another tribe, which really doesn't fit her, to the point that she really didn't know what am I going to read for the king in order to praise him. And even during going for the competition, all other girls, they took everything that they were given by this man who was taking care of them. But Esther refused all of them. She went there natural, because remember, these gods are the palace. They are from the palace. It means the king sees this every day. It is nothing new that he have never seen. So he has to see it again to every girl who comes. And they were a lot because they thought maybe what caught the king's attention was the way you arrange your gold, the way you arrange your clothes, or the way you walk like a model, or the way you make up yourself too much. But these all were common, very common to the king. They are something he sees every day from morning up to night. This king needs something new, something that he had never seen, something that will catch his attention. And this proves to us that Esther was not only beautiful, but she was an intelligent woman. And so we are living in the world where if you are not intelligent, you will think maybe going according to the world wind, it is a good thing. But at the same time, you are losing your value. So you are losing the taste of the life because you are running from one spot to another spot to try to see and be everywhere at the same time, forgetting that being at one spot and fully aware of yourself, it is the definition of life, but not being everywhere and being unconscious about your true self. Because the value of life comes from inside. It doesn't come from the environment that surrounds you. How do you view the life? How do you view the world? How am I defining beauty? What is the definition, the personal definition of beauty? What is the personal definition of success? What is the personal definition of happiness? And what is the personal definition of confidence? If you be able to answer this all question honestly, not according to the magazine or according to the news or according to the YouTuber, if you'll be able to answer this question honestly, it will be a first key to you living a happy life. Because we are living in the world where everybody is trying to convince us that being successful is having a lot of money, being happy is traveling a lot, or being confident is walking naked in the street without looking to the left and to the right and without being afraid of the people around you. But how really do you feel inside is what defines the certain thing to you. If to you having a normal meal, being happy, being able to pay your bills is satisfying you, it doesn't make you feel lucky, that is a definition of success to you. But if to you beauty is wearing a lot of stuff, making yourself up and everything, if you do those stuffs you feel comfortable, then that is a definition, the correct definition of beauty to you. So try to be your own Esther. Try to be your own Esther, to live in your own world and to break or to go beyond limit or to be laid back, not to be rushed up by this limit or by this word definition, and see how do you feel really. Does it make you happy when you walk naked? Does it make you comfortable when you walk with a lot of clothes up to the from the hair up to the nails? How does it make you feel? The feelings that comes up after having something or not having something, or achieving something or not achieving something, wearing something or not wearing something. What do you feel? Do you feel guilty? Do you feel happy? Do you feel sad? Do you feel confident? There is this feeling that it is only you who can tell. So what we need is the feeling that makes you feel happy, feel comfortable. So this is the definition of a certain stuff to you. To Esther's definition of beauty, it was being my own self, owning my own self, owning my own identity. Even if I don't say it, I don't show it, but I'm going to own it because I know it is interesting. So I have confidence on my own identity. So I'm going to say this, whether it will be wrong or right, as long as I'm comfortable telling this story, the rest doesn't matter. And it turned out to be interesting story. Why? Because she believed in her story. It was making her happy, so she believed it will make everyone else happy. But she was not trying to judge according to the king's head. No, he was trying to judge, or to tell something that she is very familiar. Because the nature of telling a story, you have to own the stage. How are you going to tell me about the history of the society I've never been in? How are you going to tell me about what's going on in the society you just came few weeks ago? It is not possible. It won't be interesting, because I fall in love with the deepness of the story. I like something deep. I like to dive deep into the story. I want to know what's next, and what happened to someone you told me in the beginning of the story, but you don't even know the person you also heard, or you also read from the book. So you only know the name of the person, but you've never been in this society, so you are not going to tell me what I need to know. But if you tell me the story about your society, you are going to own it. If you tell me about your chief and I get curious about your chief and I ask something, you're going to tell me everything. Okay, so after that, this happened and this happened and this happened. And about the guard of the chief, which nobody will write about the guard of the chief, but because you lived in that era, you know what happened to the guard of the chief, right? And you don't know where my curiosity will be. So you better tell me something that you know, because my curiosity may be very different from in a place which nobody have had curiosity in this area. Everybody was curious what was the next, what happened next to this chief, and how did this chief die, what did he achieve. But I'm not interested to the chief. Maybe I'm interested to the house of the chief. But what you read in the book, it talks only about the chief, the death of chief, the success of chief, the wife of chief. Nowhere is talking about the chief's house. Try to tell the story that is reality. Try to be yourself. We are not talking about the stories in the Bible. We are not talking about the book. We are not talking about the story in the movies or the series. We are talking about the reality. Living your reality is like telling us the story that you are familiar with, and you are going to, without knowing, you are going to catch our attention, because everybody will raise curiosity in a different type, in a different part of your story, in a different part of your life, and will be interested to know more. Because nobody, if we saw you walking the road, nobody knows the potential you have. Nobody knows how successful you are or how poor you are. Nobody knows the deepest wound of you. Nobody knows your accomplishments. Nobody knows your happiness. But if you will succeed to catch our curiosity, it means we will give you attention. And if we give you attention, during listening, everybody will be caught to every different part of your story, and this is how you're going to raise in every aspect of your life, because connection comes from attention. Success comes from attention. Don't try to live according to what the world is telling you to live. Try to live you as a human. Try to find your own definition of stuff. While you're following the rules, of course, you're not breaking the law, but try to be your authentic self. Try to be yourself. Try to live you. Try to do you, but don't copy somebody else's life. That is where you are losing the concentration, and nobody is curious. Or nobody likes diluted juice. Everybody likes the juice which everybody likes smoothie. If you give me smoothie and very diluted juice, of course I'll choose smoothie, because smoothie is full of everything. Thanks. Bye. Let's meet again in another session.